Hello everyone, this is Dirty Dog, webmaster at wanderthewest.com, and today I want to discuss with you my flatbed camper project that I've taken on. The reason I'm doing this is I've spent over 150 nights in compact campers like the four-wheel camper, and there are a lot of drawbacks to that design. The internal usable space is pretty limited. The storage space is very limited, and Mark at XP Camper has demonstrated conclusively that the flatbed platform for a camper is a really great way to get a lot of extra space, usability, functionality out of a compact truck camper. So I decided that this year I'm going to go ahead and get a flatbed for my truck, design a camper in terms of layout and specifications, and then I'm going to take those specifications and designs and have a third party build the camper. So right now I just want to take you through a few of the design issues, take a look at the flatbed. I built a wood model of the camper so I could get a feel for what dimensions would be most effective, and we're going to take a look at all that right now. Here we go. This is the Ute flatbed that I just had installed on my Ford F-250. I chose the Ute for three reasons. One is it's a couple $1,000s less than some of the other models that I was looking at. Two, it's just about the lightest one out there. I don't need a lot of features, and it definitely saves some weight over my stock bed. And finally, it was in stock and ready to go at the distributor, so I was able to get it pretty quickly. It has fold-up sides of the bed, and they just fold down like this. Fold back, sides. The sides do come off, so they'll come off campers on. The Ute flatbed is a little bit different than some of the others in that it has a lip that's almost an inch tall along the full length of the bed. So the camper's going to have to be designed to accommodate that. I actually think that that's a good thing, because when we have the camper on here, it's going to have something to keep it from shifting. If we're completely flat, anchored at 4 points, you probably get a little pivot on center, camper moving around just a little bit. So I think that's going to work out pretty well. This is the wood model I built. I started the model and was doing sketches and also using Google SketchUp all at the same time to try to figure out some dimensions on this. And once I'd made the Google SketchUp, I thought, well, this model might be a waste of time because I accomplished a lot with SketchUp, but building the model actually was a great exercise. It helped me confirm that some of my ideas were valid, and it helped me finalize some dimensions I wasn't sure about. I definitely made some important adjustments based on the model. Now, this is the back. You're looking at the back right now, and you'll notice there's no door, and that's one of the really nice things about the flatbed camper is that it releases you from having to have the door on the back. And so that's very, very nice when it comes to having to haul big things like mountain bikes. They're on a regular sliding camper, pretty tough to find a good place to mount some bikes, but on this camper you can see I have all this space on the back to mount gear. And I think what I've decided is I'm going to go ahead and get a Yakima roof rack and bolt it right to the back. Towers here, and I'll be able to hang bikes vertically, possibly up to 4, depends on how wide I decide to make the rack. And I'll be able to put the wheels back here, whereas before I had to stack them inside because there just wasn't room. And then I have room for an adventure trailer's fuel can holder. I had one lying around, so I went ahead and bolted it on there. See what it looks like. This is going to be an outside hatch to access storage that's underneath part of the dinette, which we'll look at here in a second side. So I think in there I'll put my fold-up chairs, maybe fold-up table. That'll all be accessible from outside. One thing I plan on doing on these outside doors is probably on the inside of the door making sure there's a pretty good sized lip, at least an inch, so that stuff that's sliding back and forth isn't just pounding up against the door. I wouldn't want a door to fly open and lose some gear. We're looking at the driver's side of the camper. This is where the dinette will be. This will be the big side window, mounted as high as possible to improve the dinette seating area. This is the action packer I always bring for my wood, and it's always in the way. So I actually kind of built the whole dinette with dimensions in mind to fit an action packer underneath. So this is going to be an external door. Action packer goes in there, and somehow I want to be able to secure the action packer in place so it's not sliding around. There's a lot of weight if it has wood in it. And this is too long to really work, but just as an idea, I used to secure the action packer by putting a strap through there, which works, and I thought that maybe I'd get some kind of flush mount eye bolt kind of thing to go down in here and hook something to tie it down. You'd have to do that on both sides, so on the inside there'd have to be a little hatch to open up and reach in there and tie it down, kind of like we do now with our regular four-wheel campers when we access the turnbuckles. We're on the cab end of the camper now, and the only thing I wanted to point out here was that you can see the action packer takes up that much room. My hope is that this space between here and the wall is going to be big enough for a 20-gallon water tank. A little unsure about that, so I might need to adjust something if that's not going to work. We are on the passenger side now where the door will be. Originally I thought, well, with all this extra room I'd use a wider door, but I decided to use the standard 28-inch door that four-wheel camper uses. I realized in a four-wheel camper the bench seat protrudes pretty far into the space, the door opening, making the door feel smaller than it is. I think that a 28-inch door actually will be completely adequate when it's unobstructed, like it will be in this design. Stepping inside, this is all going to be cabinet space right here. This is going to be cabinet space. Down here, I'm going to put an angle fridge here, the top opening style. I had considered using the front opening one, but it would have required that I make this cabinet wider to fit it in there, and that just kind of threw my whole design off, and I decided it wasn't worth it after looking into it. I'm gonna put that angle on an adventure trailer side slide, so it will slide out like this and probably open like this towards the dinette, so that it's easier to access from the door. A couple things here. This is a fixed bench seat here. This is in the dinette in bed mode with the top down to be a platform for the bed. I want this particular member here to double as the table. I checked it out. It works fine. The dimensions are fine. Over here, I've made a cutout in the cabinet and allowed the bed to extend all the way to the end of the camper, so that this is a full-length bed. That should work pretty well. I checked it out and it seems to be comfortable. Over here, this is going to be a fold-up counter. It's going to have some kind of brackets that fold and lock into place. That way I can fold that down, use that as a step to get in the bed, and it also, if I ever have trouble getting into the seat in the dinette, I can move that out of the way. This here, the main cabinet, this is going to be the utility cabinet. I don't do a lot of cooking inside, and I don't want to dedicate a lot of space to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a SMEV single burner sink combo that's going to fit right here, which should work fine for me. This cabinet, I'm hoping will be able to contain all the utilities. It will have the furnace, the propane tank, the water heater, the external shower. Hopefully that'll all fit here. This is just one more shot here to just demonstrate the dinette in table mode. If we can get that window high enough, it should actually be a pretty nice seating area. Also, I should note one of the drawbacks, there are some drawbacks to the flatbed, at least in the way I've designed it. The door on the side is going to interfere a little bit with the placement of the awning. And I do want an awning, so what's going to happen is the awning will have to be installed on a few brackets that kind of elevate it a little higher than where it would be able to be mounted flush to the side so that the door clears it. I don't think that'll be a big deal. I was looking at the original four-wheel camper, and I don't even think the awning will be more than an inch higher than the roof when it's down anyway, so that should be no big deal. I'll just have to make sure those brackets are pretty tough to withstand the kind of wind that an awning can get hit with.